All right, let's dive right into this, because what we've got here is a data report from December 26th, 2025. And honestly, it tells a story so bizarre it sounds like it's straight out of a movie. We're talking about a single day where the financial pulse of a massive company, well, it just completely stopped.
So, yeah, that's the central question we're going to dig into. I mean, just think about that for a second. What happens when a company with over 22 million customers makes zero money in a single day? We're talking about a huge utility company, right? An essential service for a population bigger than a lot of countries. And they report nothing. Zilch. How is that even possible?
Well, the answer, according to the official report, is right there. Zero. For an entire 24-hour cycle, the total amount billed was 0 rupees. And the total revenue they collected? You guessed it, 0 rupees. It's a total financial blackout, a complete zero-state event. And you gotta believe, this thing needs an explanation, and fast.
Okay, ghosts in the machine. Now, here's where the story gets really weird. Because while all the money just vanished into thin air, the company itself didn't go anywhere. You know, the infrastructure, the millions of customers, the whole physical setup, it was all still there. Just silent.
And this, right here, just perfectly illustrates the core problem. I mean, look at this. On one side, you've got over 22 million consumers, people who, are supposed to be using electricity. And on the other side, a billing system that recorded literally nothing. It's like an entire city full of people, but every single shop is closed. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, and here, this is our first major clue. The report shows that out of almost 22,000 registered meter readers, these are the field agents on the ground, they're called Urja Mitras, exactly 0 were active that day. Not one. An entire workforce just completely offline.
And let's be really clear here, this wasn't because of some kind of lack of organization. This table shows that the company, its JVBNL, the state's power utility, had its workforce spread out exactly where you'd expect. Strategically placed in all the major zones, from the admin center in Ranchi to the big industrial areas. So the people and the plan were absolutely in place, they just weren't working.
All right, the investigation. This is where it gets good. The report basically treats this whole situation like a crime scene, and it's identified 3 prime suspects for what could have caused such a massive failure. So here are the main lines of inquiry. Our suspects. First up, was this just a tech problem? Did the entire billing engine just crash and burn? Second, and this is a big one given that nobody was working, was this some kind of coordinated silent strike? Or third, maybe the simplest explanation, is the data itself just wrong? Could this all be one massive, and I mean devastating, reporting error?
Okay, the 42 crore rupee question. Before we crack the case, we have to understand just how high the stakes are here. A day with 0 income isn't just some weird anomaly on a spreadsheet, it's a full-blown financial catastrophe. So the big question is, how much did this one silent day actually cost?
Now, to figure that out, the analysts couldn't just, take a wild guess. They busted out a really sophisticated tool called a Monte Carlo simulation. All that means is it's a fancy computer model that uses probability to figure out what might happen. It basically runs thousands of different possible scenarios using all the data they have, like consumer numbers, average bills, to find the most likely financial damage.
And the results? Well, they're pretty stark. The simulation gave them a range of what they might have lost. On the conservative side, we're talking about 31 crore rupees. On the aggressive, high end, it's over 53 crore. But that middle number, the median, the most probable outcome, that's where this gets truly staggering.
42 crore rupees. Let that sink in. That's the estimated revenue at risk for just one day of this operational blackout. That is a number that instantly transforms this from just a data anomaly into an urgent, code-red financial emergency.
And believe it or not, the danger didn't stop there. The report also ran the numbers on what would happen if this zero state wasn't just a one-off thing. If this problem continued for just 1 week, the projected financial shock was over 300 crore rupees. So the problem wasn't just big, it was getting bigger at an absolutely incredible speed.
All right, so cracking the case. With the stakes this ridiculously high, what did the investigators actually conclude? I mean, how do you solve a 42 crore rupee a day problem? Let's take a look at their action plan.
And there it is, the smoking gun, right from the report. It concludes that this wasn't a server crash and it wasn't a data error. For all the billing that wasn't automated through smart meters, the single root cause was the completely inactive workforce. It was a human system that had just ground to a total halt. Now, the why that happened is still the big question, but the what happened is crystal clear.
So, the recommended actions were, as you'd expect, direct and logical. Step 1, what they call priority alpha, is to check the data integrity. Basically, rerun the report just to be 100% sure it isn't some crazy glitch. Step 2, mobilize the workforce. Immediately get all 21,951 of those Yurja activated. And third, start assessing the backlog. Figure out just how many people haven't been billed, a number that's growing by the hour.
And this brings us to the final and maybe most crucial question the report leaves us with. It's no longer about what happened yesterday, it's all about what happens next. Solving the immediate crisis is one thing, but recovering from a total financial blackout, well, that is a whole new problem. The question really isn't just about how to turn the lights back on, but how to even begin to calculate the massive cost of the darkness.